Jaren Duran in the 8-part Netflix series, The Clubhouse, A Year with the Red Sox. Yesterday, statements from the team, statements from baseball applauding Jaren Duran for coming forward with his story, for sharing his story. You don't often hear a player talk about these things openly. And he's not the only player to feel this way or be in a situation like that one. You just don't often hear about them. They don't talk about them.
It's weird when you hear him describe it, too. And people are like, oh, well, the gun jammed. And I'm like, did it? Like, I've never shot a gun. So he said he had a rifle. So it's basically what? You cock it, put the one bullet in, snap it to, and then take the safety off, and then you should be good to go. He's obviously fired guns before. Like, to know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. But, like, you talk about crazy, I don't want to say luck, but divine intervention, if that's the case, and he truly believes that, holy crap, 20 out of 20 times that thing would fire. And at one time it didn't. And gave him another lease on life, which is great for him. You know, that's something he's got to rally around, and I think he has. That's great. That's the great part of it. Like, it didn't happen for a reason. He's right.
So I woke up early this morning and watched this episode, and you forget that he was drafted as a second baseman. So he's trying to transition to the outfield where he doesn't really have experience. He talks about how he really didn't know how to play the outfield, gets called up to the majors, and the biggest takeaway was the Red Sox had zero support system for this kid when they brought him up. And he just gets absolutely swallowed by the moment and clearly cannot deal with the adversity that he takes on at the major league level. And there's no veteran there. Like, Bogarts, obviously, going into that free agent year, things were weird there. J.D. Martinez, the other veteran on that team, the DH going into a free agent year. There was nobody on that team to help a kid that was, like, flailing when he first gets called up. And it just spirals on the kid. Yeah, absolutely spirals.
You looked at the highlights that they were showing of him early on in his career, and he's in the outfield with Verdugo and Hunter Renfroe and guys like that.
I don't know who he was supposed to lean on there, and it makes you appreciate, by the way, the fact that they signed Bregman this offseason and what he's actually going to provide. Some of these, Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell right now, Marcelo Mayer when he comes up, to have a guy like that they can actually lean on that's still invested is a huge win, and probably, like, we've undersold that a little bit in terms of the signing for Bregman.
Well, we even brought up when this was playing out when he first came up, right? We mocked him. We were laughing about it. It was comical how bad it was, but we did say, I remember saying at the time, like, why do they keep just sticking him out there?
Yes.
Right? It was like, they just kept putting him out there like it was going to get better.
He even says in the doc, he goes, just please send me back down. Like, send me down. I don't want to be here right now. It's crazy. Yeah,
and it was his mother, too, when they interviewed her, and she's like, it got to a point where you're like, just let him get a hit. Just let him catch this ball every single time.
Yeah, so I think you're right, McCone. It doesn't exactly reflect well on the Red Sox and the handling of a young player.
No.
Because they even do frame it in a way that they're like, okay, just put him out in center field, let him go run around. That's what they said.
Yeah, he's athletic. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you forget, like, the highlight, you mentioned it, but, like, the highlights or lowlights from that, he was an absolute train wreck out there.
It was so bad.
It was so bad.
Maybe they're thinking, too, like, hey, Manny played left. We'll just stick him out there. He'll figure it out. Like, that's your support.
Nesson last night covered this as part of their broadcast, in case you were not paying attention or didn't catch the game. Here it is.
Yeah, guys, in the pregame show, we had a long, frank discussion with Lenny DiNardo and Devin Marrero about mental health, the challenges major leaguers face. And we gave out the information of the Samaritans, who for 50 years have been providing suicide prevention information, providing hope to everyone in Massachusetts and around the country. They have a specific line for people under the age of 25. You can text Hey Sam, which is 439-726, for a youth peer-to-peer mental health text line. And they reached out to me about an hour after the show. Guys, they have already seen a dramatic uptick tonight in teenagers reaching out to have a conversation. So you talk about what Jaren Duran is doing, you're already seeing the results of it just 1 hour after that story came out.
It's pretty remarkable that already happened. So, what was obviously a bad story for him has turned into a good one. He's turned into a good player. He obviously has had some career highlights already, and now he's able to spread the message of suicide prevention. So good.
It's great if you
Something
affect
good will come
somebody
out of
too.
this.
And it makes me think, like, back to my years playing. Like, there's a handful of guys I think had some stuff going on in their head. They were introverted or just something wasn't right. And we had a team psychiatrist, but it was never told to us that this is what this guy does. If you need help, go to him. It was just he was just there, and I don't think they weren't using him. But I think nowadays, we're so much more aware of this stuff. So,
617-779-0985. We're also talking about the baseball team itself right now and some of the issues that they've got. To this point, the things that are bugging you about how this has played out so far with the loss last night. Tom's in the Bay Area. Hi, Tom.
Hey, dude, happy birthday, big fella.
Oh, thank you.
there you go, Tom.
Yep. Yeah, shout out to Jaren Duran for, being open about that. That's such a big deal, especially with baseball itself being so mentally exhausting, 162 games in a season. So hopefully that really works out for them moving forward. And this baseball team, I love what they got, but you can't have Crochet every other week feeling like he's got to right the ship. Hopefully Bello comes back strong, Giolito, we'll see. But you give $20 million to Bueller, and I don't feel good about that $20 million. Not that it's coming out of my pocket, but we got to get it going there, pitching wise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that they put that pressure on Garrett Crochet. I mean, that's why he just got a huge contract without ever having to pitch a full season. So I don't mind that. That's why you did it. That's why you signed him. That's why you traded for him. That's why you gave up prospects for him. There should always be that pressure on that guy to go out and win a game. Regardless of what the other four guys are doing, and I know that that's in a vacuum. In reality, it's going to feel a little bit more because of that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. That's the job.
And this is why the fan base is going to like him so much if he can be that guy and really last the whole year and just grind wins out. You think about the frontline starters here over the years. The Pedros, the Clemens, the Schilling, Beckett, Lester. Like those guys had balls, and this guy seems like he's cut like them. And that's why he's making the money, and that's his gig here, man. And you got issues with the rest of the staff. This guy's got to go out and win his starts and get the thing back on track. But that's 2 now. 2 times he started this year where, all right, there was a loss last time. Now I got to stop the bleeding.
Here's a new complaint. Ready for a new one?
What's that?
The usage of David Hamilton, as in he's played too much.
Oh.
David Hamilton, this is an email from Tyler Campbell, frequent emailer. He said he's appeared in 6 of the 11 games so far. Why? He's batting .071, and he's been picked off. He had one last night. He said, I get the team has a lot of depth, and they want to, mix guys in, considering they're playing almost every day for the first month. But can we let Campbell develop? Cora's getting too cute mixing in Hamilton. Give Campbell all the playing time he could use every rep that he can get.
So Hamilton and
yesterday
Casas.
was Campbell's first day off this season.
Too much David Hamilton.
Too much Hamilton.
They're pushing him
Too
to
much
center
Casas.
field. They're pushing him to center field so he can stay in the lineup so David Hamilton can get in. I'm all okay with them not forcing Ceddanne Rafaela into the lineup.
George would prefer we call this grind my gears, Peter Griffin style. What really grinds my gears?
Only if Peter Griffin guy calls.
Yeah, Peter Griffin guy could call for us. Yes. Let's go to... Oh, our caller dropped off there. Oh, maybe he's dialing back in.
We can call the segment, what pisses you off?
But it's only Red Sox related, though.
Right. What grinds my gears?
That's the bit.
It needs a title. It does need a title. Because it got me thinking, like, ooh, we could call this or that. No, can't call this or that. We did that. What pisses you off? What are you pissed at?
It's the Red Sox roast. You just come up with all the things that piss you off.
Okay.
I mean, it could be a regular thing.
Why the Sox suck.
It could just be the show every day from now until September, regardless of how well they play or what their record may be.
If I was Maz, what would piss you off?
I mean, that's also called
We
the
might need
baseball
it if
hour.
they're
Every night.
We might need it if they're playing too well.
Yeah, we're going to need to figure out what it is that makes us upset about the team despite their success. That's what we do best. The best things we do around here is when we nitpick the good teams.
Yeah.
That's our finest work.
Damn Celtics.
That's when it takes, real effort.
Celtics are so stupid for playing Jalen Brown.
It's like, well, they're terrible, and we all recognize them for how terrible they are.
Pritchard's playing too much.
Yeah, Horford was at the national championship yesterday.
Horford doesn't even have
Does
his
he
head
really
in
care?
it.
Does he really care? Yeah, does he really care?
Jesus. He looks just the same as he did when he played at freaking Florida.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. Dude doesn't age. It's like Ray Allen. Another UConn guy for you there, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Whatever. Dave wanted us to mention, by the way, anyone who's considering harming themselves, don't forget an easier number to remember is just 988. 988.
Wow. Okay.
Okay? Sometimes you get lost in all the different numbers you can call. 988. 988 will get you there. More on the Red Sox Netflix doc and why they kind of shut it down and didn't keep recording every day like they did early in the season last year. We had heard reports that they had run out of money, that they had gone broke, that there wasn't a budget to keep going. The director of the doc has explained.
Hey, that's good by Cora, though, huh? Hey, if you're going to do this, you got to get your ass here during spring training because that's how you get to know the guys. It's more personal. Instead of just showing up on game day when everybody's a little tight. Everybody's a little high-strung. Nerves are a little heightened. You're looser. Like, you want to be around somebody when like their loosest moments. Get to know them. That's pretty good by Cora, getting that. But how about that as a manager wanting you there, though? Like, if I was a manager or coach, I don't want anybody filming our stuff. You know, it's too much of a look in. You know, what if I'm a bad guy? What if I come off really bad in it? The way I treat players. Not that I would treat players badly. But I'd ride them.
They forgot to budget for the spring training time.
We couldn't have gone back to Netflix and said, "Hey, you know what? We need a little extra cash here."
No, think about it.
Instead of pulling people off the road,
you gotta put these
Tough
guys
times in the media industry, McCone.
You got to put these guys up. Like, I do one little silly interview. It's three guys running a camera. There's a sound guy. There's a stage manager. There's a guy in a truck. Like, there's a whole crew. So imagine what the cost of this thing is.
It's probably not cheap.
But I'm sure they, get a house. Or they're not going to put them up in a hotel. They're going to just, rent a house. But, you're sending a team there to do this around the clock. That's a lot of dough, dude. The equipment, the cost of it. And Netflix has money. I mean, I get it, but still.
Right. Think of how many things are on Netflix.
Yeah.
And how much they, have to pay out on a regular basis to produce stuff. So they don't care.
No.
They don't care that it's the Red Sox. They don't care that it's spring training. So they did. They cut them. They said, no more money. Nope. You figure it out with what you've got. And that's why they then were periodically, I guess, we saw the reports at the time. They were just kind of periodically checking in and doing stuff to document where things were going with the team.
We knew about it because they weren't in the Colorado series, right? With the
Yeah. The beat reporters picked up on the fact that those guys suddenly weren't around anymore as the season went on.
Same for the core extension. All the behind the scenes, all that kind of playing out, I don't think we see as well.
Great. Lose that. Well, the real newsworthy sort of thing that happened during the season last year, that's out. So it's gone.
I mean, 162 is a lot to follow these guys around too. Like, I would do a series a month or two series.
But have you ever watched a baseball documentary about a team? They always start in spring training. You wouldn't factor that in.
I agree with you. I know that they said, we're just going to do a week, and we decided we needed
Right.
more time. But you would think that you would really want to get
their own
involved
look.
in that.
I would say, guys,
team.
I would just say to them, I would say, listen, in another very popular sports league in the United States, the most popular league, their best behind-the-scenes programming all takes place prior to the season. They produce the same show during the season, and it doesn't get nearly the amount of viewers.
Right.
So, you might want to factor that in.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
We got to separate this. We can't do it all in one. We're Hard Knocks. We're going to start in March, and we're going to follow them all the way through January. That's too much. So they break it up.
I have finally
Off-season Hard
started.
Knocks.
This past year was the first year I watched in-season Hard Knocks.
I've never watched it.
Who was in it?
It was the Ravens, Steelers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
because of the
division,
Tomlin
right?
stuff. That's right.
Yeah, those
Take
were
this mic off me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
their division, the Bengals. That was all in.
that's
there.
right. That's right.
It was good. It's not as good as the preseason stuff, though. Preseason stuff has always been the best. Even
Yes.
now that they've kind of cut back on it a little bit, the access is a little different.
It's more drama. The cuts.
But they don't do that anymore. They don't embarrass guys by having them get fired and have their dreams die on HBO.
Oh, that was great.
It was, though.
Danny
It was
Amendola
awesome
didn't die.
television.
I remember Jerry calling him in and saying, "Hey, Danny, we're trying to keep you on practice squad." They thought, "Oh, that's it. Career's over." No, he had a hell of a career.
I'm telling you, the Patriots should raise their hand and get on that.
If I was an owner, though,
right
too,
now,
if I was an owner, I'd worry about what if my coach is a freaking moron? You know,
Like, you get exposed
Look at
in that
Cincinnati.
show.
Remember Dave
Yeah.
Dave Campo,
Cincinnati,
Back in the day.
Cleveland,
Yeah.
brutal.
Dallas. Yep.
Dallas always looks like a clown show.
Yeah, but it was Dave Campo. You know,
But if the Patriots right now raised their hand and said, we want Hard Knocks, I think it could only benefit them. I think they've got a coaching staff and they've got some players now that would be very appealing, that would only make them look like a better place to play.
imagine if Milt was still here. The Milton trauma that you would be able to film. You know, him pushing Drake. Man,
Yeah, apparently
Man,
very
out the door.
dramatic, the Joe Milton
wanting to
stuff.
compete,
Apparently
right?
very
Yeah.
dramatic. He's a real pain in the ass. He was just so competitive. He was just marching around the locker room telling everybody, I'm better than Drake May and I should be the starter. You brought it up. This is on you. This is on you.
The first thing I thought of when you said Hard Knocks Patriots. Like, whew, thank God he's gone.
I think it would be awesome for them. I know they're exempt.
You know what? Yeah, they're exempt. It's not going to happen, but it would create a buzz. It would.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they're on it. They're on the show
No
next
doubt.
year. They are absolutely the pick. They will call up and say, you're it. And I think, believe it or not, by the end of this Red Sox series, you will like guys on the Red Sox more than you did. And even in a horrible year, you'll come away with it feeling somewhat better about them.
Yeah, I don't even care
I
about the
don't
results
think
of
this is
the
going to
game.
hurt them. Is this going to hurt the Red Sox
No.
in any way?
No.
Is it going to hurt any of the individuals that were on the show?
No, I like the inside peek, like behind the scenes stuff to get to know the players. Like we already know the results. You're not going to be pissed about the games.
And they were
because
train
already
wreck
happened.
last year.
Right.
On the field, at least.
Yeah, I don't care about the outcome or the finish. I'd be more interested in figuring out what these guys will make them tick.
So let's what? Wait, when did this happen?
What?
5 days ago they changed the Hard Knocks rules? I missed this.
What now?
Hold on. All right.
What, they do this at the owners' meeting?
You know, we'll cover it next. I didn't
All
know
right.
this. This was one T-Bone just said, hey, heads up. They just changed the Hard Knocks rules. Take a look at it. I will take a look at it and get you the latest rules on this about who can and cannot be forced onto the show. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.